It's Monday, August 19th, and we will call this regular city council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Deb.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Here.
Jessica. Here. Don.
Here.
Kathy. Brenda.
Here. Entertain a motion to approve today's agenda. Second. A motion from Harley, second from Don. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. Across the mayor's desk, I want to thank Shay Tilgis for being our videographer again this evening. And just a reminder that school starts soon this week, I believe. So there'll be increased traffic, both foot traffic and vehicular traffic around the school zone. So just asking everyone to drive with caution. So, council have anything that they would like to share? Hearing none, we'll move to update from the city administrator.
I'd like to invite our recreation manager, Nick Deers, up to share a few announcements regarding Parks and Rec.
Good evening. So, this time of year, we've officially wrapped up all of our summertime activities. We had our volleyball tournament ended yesterday, and the aquatic center came to a close, but now we're moving into our fall. For our fall programming, we have youth soccer, which is from second grade up to fourth grade. It's an introductory level. We're gonna have 2 new coaches for that. That gets kicked off in September. And then we also have our youth volleyball, which is 5th and 6th grade. That takes place at Lucia Wallace. And that's gonna be, those are always pretty nice big events. Normally for our soccer, we get roughly around 60 to 70 kids. Volleyball, roughly in the 20s and 30s for 5th and 6th grade. So that's always pretty good. And then the other big thing that we have going on is, as you guys can tell, the splash pad is open. Long time coming, which has been really it's been a hit so far. That's been packed. A lot of good comments have been coming from that, so that's always a really, really nice thing. That turned out to be a big hit. We have another event that's going to be coming up, which is going to be a skate park event. So Basic Shirt Company, they reached out to me. We did one of these last year. And they come in, they're out of Fort Dodge, they come up and they bring in, they're gonna work on bringing in some food trucks this year, some other vendors, and they'll all be up at Central Park. Last year when the park was under construction, they had to walk on plywood to get to the actual skate park. So this year it's gonna be vast improvements. They're looking forward to being here. They put on a nice show, they do the whole thing. So they invite plenty of skaters from all over the community to come and take place in this event, for this event. So it's really, really nice deal.
Brings a lot of people to town.
Yeah, it does. Last year, I think throughout the entire day, they had around, I want to say their count was right around 70 to 80 skaters throughout the whole day. So that's always nice. They really do like our skate park. They compliment how we have that put together.
Well, it's really nice to see the splash pad. Thanks for all your work, and the crowds there have been just crazy.
Yeah, it's
The
good
kids,
fun.
I mean, yeah.
And so the splash pad officially opened last Tuesday, August 12th at noon. Made the announcement that morning of as soon as it was ready to go, and we were going to open it. So had a few last minute delays with having to get the right software sent and that installed and some things like that and getting state inspected. But splash pad's up and running, so the hours right now are from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then we're going to have our formal ribbon cutting and donor reception event as part of a chamber coffee, which will be this Friday, August 23rd at 9:30. So invite everyone to come out for that if you're able to. Not just a good excuse to gather and see the splash pad, but an opportunity to recognize the donors that made this project happen, as well as provide a few of the details about all the work that was done, the extent of it, to really highlight, the comprehensive redevelopment that we've had at that park over the last 2 to 3 years. So I'm really excited to have this as our final event, hopefully at that park to celebrate everything that's been done.
Yeah, it's been really nice. That park is really transformed. You go there and then just sit down and hang out, and it's great. So, do you have any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And then just also wanted to share, we also have the public safety night out. Annual event will be held this year on Thursday, September 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. We've got a venue change, so it'll be held this year at the Cassuth County Fairgrounds. But it's a free event that will include the Algonah Police Department, Cassuth County Sheriff's Office, the Algonah Fire Department, County EMS, and emergency management, as well as some of our partner agencies like the State Patrol, DNR, and Department of Transportation. So there will be a lot of activities and events. I know a lot of different handouts and prizes. And I know the K9 demonstrations were always a popular activity as well. So that will be this Thursday, September 12th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the fairground. So there's more information on that on the city's website. And more will be coming out with the local media and on our Facebook pages as well.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Move to agenda item number 7. This is the citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda. Not seeing anyone that would like to speak. We will move to the consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our August 5th work and regular council meetings, approve the bills to be paid this cycle, approve the department reports, as well as the minutes from the various boards and commissions that were met.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Harvey, second from Jessica. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. We'll move to agenda item number 9, new business. This is the third reading of an ordinance concerning the sewer service charges.
This ordinance will amend the sewer service charges for the separate meter required. We used to have that it was just a flat rate for the water used. Now it will be an estimated amount depending on how many people are living in the home. It also addresses for people living outside the city limits how the charges on their sewer will work. It will be double the service fee, double the infrastructure fee, and then just a normal usage fee is how this is set up. And doing it that way, as we increase any type of fee, the outside the city limits, their fees will also increase. It's the third reading, so. Any questions?
Motion waived the third reading.
Second. Have a motion and a second to waive the third reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried.
Motion to approve the third reading.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the third reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. Thanks. Agenda item number 10, this is the second reading pertaining to signs and awnings.
This amendment changes our wall sign ordinance. It was brought to our attention there are a number of wall signs on businesses that have more than one. Our previous ordinance states you're only allowed one sign per side of the building. We do have some buildings that have multiple signs. So this will limit wall signs to 150 square feet or 10% of the wall or the side of the building that you're going to put the sign on. So whichever is less. So if you've got a large building, you can have more than one sign. It also allows for a waiver to be applied for buildings that are located over 1,000 feet from the center line of Highway 18 so they can have a larger sign so it can be seen from the highway.
Motion to waive the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion from Rodney, second from Jessica to waive the second reading of this ordinance. Any discussion? Vote please.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried.
Motion to approve second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried. Move to agenda item number 11, and this is the first reading pertaining to parallel parking on Smith Street.
Last year when we redid the parking on Smith Street, we kind of shortened up the parking area. Now we're having an issue with people parking in the blue marked area, and a taxi pulls up or a delivery truck or something pulls up. There's no room for traffic to get around those vehicles that have temporarily stopped there. So this ordinance will restrict or place a no parking on Smith Street, 90 feet south of the Nebraska Street right of way, heading south. So basically, just north of that first driveway up to the corner, there will be no parking on the west side of Smith Street.
It's hard to see in this photo, but there's a ADA compliant sidewalk entrance from the street that comes out here instead of a parking spot. And so we have a number of tenants that live here that use the city taxi. That's where they load and unload. And then I know an EMS or ambulance response, that's where they park as well. And then with delivery vehicles, it just has kind of become a problematic when we've got vehicles parked there. So we'll just restrict that parking.
So will there just be a sign there, or will there be kind of like?
And there'll be a sign that points out to the street that says no parking here to the corner with an arrow going basically to the right. And then the street guys will paint the curb yellow.
Okay.
Should that area be designated a loading zone? If
Well,
you
we
have
discussed that,
delivery
but,
trucks
you
and
know, your
stuff.
delivery trucks, they always get out on the rider's side of the truck. That's usually where their big door is, you know, they climb through the. So they're always pulling up on the east side of the street. I don't think we really need to have the west side of the loading zone. From talking to Rhonda at Maple Park, they're always pulling up on the east side. And then somebody's parked on the west side and nobody can get through.
So this is just to allow lane traffic to get around. Okay.
And this was discussed at the Streets and Sewer Committee on August 1st, I believe it was, because that committee was to move forward with this type of ordinance amendment to address it.
Motion to waive the first reading.
Second. We have a motion from Rodney, second from Brad to waive the first reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried.
Motion to approve first reading.
Second. Motion and second to approve the first reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 12 is a resolution involving taxable sewer revenue capital loan notes.
This resolution pertains to the 2024 wastewater treatment improvement project. So earlier in the year, the city approved issuing debt up to $30,785,000 for that program. That was under the state revolving loan fund, just their standard program, which carries an interest rate of 2.5%. Since we originally applied for and secured that funding, this was a program that was in the works at the time, but got rolled out. But the Water Quality Improvement Fund under our SRF, we're eligible to, this would be up to $21,171,000. This is not in addition to the $30 million previously authorized, but in lieu of a portion of that. And basically what we can use this 21 million for is to finance the nutrient reduction elements of the project, which that's how much that represents, about 2/3, primarily our nitrogen and phosphorus that we need to meet compliance with our permit. The big difference with this funding source is that the interest rate is half of the standard SRF program, so that's 1.25%, which over the 20-year term of the loan, was about $3 million in interest that the city would not be having to pay. So like the other loan, it's on a reimbursement basis. So our goal is to ultimately, at the end of the project, is we won't be using all of what we're eligible to finance, that we will have to be using some of the cash that we've saved up. But we certainly want to finance as much as we can with this 21 million with that reduced rate. So this resolution authorizes the issuance of that debt. And this will be the final action taken by council on the matter. The loan closing is scheduled for September 6th.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion from Harley, second from Don. Any discussion?
Seems like we've approved a lot for this, so I'm saving money.
Yeah. Vote please, Deb.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney,
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 13 is a resolution approving professional services agreement with WHKS.
I will provide a brief overview because we discussed this program at length in our work session. But this agreement approves a professional service agreement with WHKS for a sump pump and sanitary sewer lateral inspection program. It would be, this is what we referred to in our past meetings as a footing drain inspection program. The proposal set forth is for a minimum of 400 homes. But that final amount is expected to be higher with the final scope to be determined this fall. But this can, the agreement's written as scalable in terms of the number of houses within the project scope. But this at least gets us underway to start doing some of the initial items in terms of the ordinance review, designing the program, developing the website, the public information, getting that out, and then trying to get some of the inspections going yet this calendar year, with the expectation that the majority of the inspections will have to take place in 2025. But we would target this area in the, or this program in the areas where we've had clusters of multiple backups in the past, with the goal being that through this program, which would inspect for illegal footing drain connections, beaver drains, sump pumps, downspouts, basically any water that shouldn't be entering the sanitary sewer system, would be inspecting for those, and then giving, either determination of everything was connected A-OK, or what illegal connections exist to notify the homeowner, and then it would ultimately be the city to go about enforcing that removal, which is another thing we'll be working on this fall. Once this is approved, is coming up with a final proposal for how a potential cost share agreement would work to get these illegal connections removed, which ultimately we think is going to reduce the water going into our sanitary sewer system, reducing what we have to treat, minimizing overflows, and hopefully reducing, mitigating the risk of sewer backing up in homes when we have major rain events like we did earlier this summer. So this resolution approves that agreement to get kind of the wheels formally moving on that program. So if anyone has any questions, Kevin's still here, so.
Well, I just think an advantage of getting it started, the program started as soon as possible, is just to get an idea how extensive this problem is and how much it's contributing to our sewer water issues. And gives us a better idea if it's a major contributor, as we're suspecting, we can deal with it. If it ends up to be smaller than we would think, then we have to start looking other places.
I know we we didn't decide the final number, to start at 400, like you said, but will the rate, I guess one question I have, will the rate pretty much stay the same, whether down the road a year we do another 200, or how does that look? I mean, do we, the 170 and the 195, does that rate stay kind of pretty until we get them all done?
Sure. Kevin Graves, WPS Engineers. Yes, the rate should stay relatively stable, right? The one thing that could increase over time is just as, inflation, wages, if as time goes on, that rate may increase slightly, due to just the cost of living type of increases, but, in general, that rate should stay relatively stable.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Don, second from Rodney. Any discussion, other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney,
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 14, this is also a resolution approving professional services agreement with WHKS.
So the city, kind of for inspection purposes, has divided the city into 5 I&I sectors. We had, beginning last year, started an effort to get through all 5 sectors 1 year at a time. We were budgeting $25,000 a year to do that. The blue sector was completed in 2023, and then the green sector was scheduled to be conducted here this fall. Given, again, the sewer and rain events that we've had earlier this year, we've proposed more or less just doing 2 years worth of inspections in 1 year, so including the yellow and with the green sector for inspection. In the past, since there was a budget item, we didn't have a formal agreement to come to council, but now that we're going from about $25,000 to a $52,000 estimated agreement. That's why this is in front of council as opposed to in the years past when it was just as a line item approved in the budget. A formal order like this didn't come to council. So this will be the smoke testing of the public sewer infrastructure as well as manhole inspections in the green and yellow sectors. And part of the red sector, kind of that southern portion.
Okay, now the manhole inspection, that's pretty straightforward, that if things are broken, misaligned, whatever, where water can flow in, that is a problem that needs to be identified. But could you maybe tell a bit more about the smoke for people who might be watching this, what you're looking for and how you find it?
Sure.
Smoke detection.
Yep, so the smoke testing portion of what we would do, there'd be several WHKS staff members along with city staff that would be involved. We actually we put down, we call it a smoke candle that would be, and we would use an air blower to push that smoke into the sanitary sewer system and push that through manholes into the sewer pipes underground. And what we're looking for is if there's an area that the smoke can get out of the sewer pipes and into a different area up out of ground, that means conversely clear water in a rain event can get from those spots down into the sewer and contribute to I&I in the sanitary sewer system. So our staff would be walking along the different areas where the smoke is entered the sanitary sewer, look for areas if there's a sewer clean out where the cap broke in, or maybe it's a manhole that has it has a spot that where water can get in and leak, then they'll see the smoke come out through the manhole. And we identify defects in the sanitary sewer system in that way. And we do kind of notices ahead of time as well for that to make sure that the public knows that it's non-toxic, it's safe for everybody if they were to see this smoke happening near their place. So we provide adequate notice and make sure that everyone's aware of what we're doing. But yeah, the idea is where smoke's coming out, that means water can come in. So we want to address those areas at a later date once we've identified those deficiencies.
Thank you.
And this is, really on the public side of the sewer system, those inspections, whereas opposed to the previous agreement with those inspections, I was, inspecting from the private side for those clear water sources.
So by moving it up, manpower, you've got enough to kind of move up the process and speed it up?
Yes,
Did
yep,
it that
we'll,
way?
correct. In general, the smoke testing, we can cover a pretty large area with the crew that we would bring out. And so, we'd anticipate that kind of doubling the scope. It's taking us from, 2 days to maybe 4-ish days for that smoke testing. And similarly, maybe a couple weeks, 2 to 4 weeks for the manhole inspections. So, it's something that manpower-wise, we can definitely accelerate that and still get all that work done in 2024 with that kind of end goal, like what we talked about in the work sessions of taking all those identified deficiencies and hopefully creating an infrastructure project for you guys to consider in 2025 that would start addressing those. And, we can identify all we want, that's great, but until you actually do the work to fix them, they're not going to decrease the clear water coming in your system. So that's why we want to try to accelerate that and get you to a point where you can take care of this.
Motion to approve the resolution for the smoke testing manhole inspections. Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Brad. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brian,
Yes.
Rodney,
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don,
Yes.
Harmon.
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 15 is a resolution pertaining to the downtown cultural corridor master plan.
I have Matt Cole from Boulder, Maine, with us this evening to talk a little bit about the proposed scope of work for the downtown cultural district. I guess just as a baseline, I'll turn it over to Matt. Just as a reminder, and there's a board over there, but this is an overview of the plan we developed over this last year, looking at the redevelopment of that Nebraska Street corridor, with kicking out that Nebraska Street and Thornton Street parking lot, one behind the Historical Society, Billy Joe's, as a project for 2025. But with that, wanting to come up with a comprehensive plan for kind of the area to tie in with our Camp Algona POW Museum, the Historical Society, and then the Carnegie Center for the Arts. This was a project that first came as an idea back in 2019 when we did our downtown assessment, and a way to link those kind of cultural amenities as well as fill the very noticeable sidewalk gap that we have in our system on that south side of the parking lot. Given the condition of the parking lot, knowing it needs to be reconstructed. And so that's what was kind of the antithesis for putting together this master plan. And so it includes preliminary final design and bidding services for a portion of this, as well as preliminary design for the entire scope of the master plan to make sure everything jives in terms of design. So I hope I didn't steal too much of the overview.
I think you did a great job covering everything there. Yeah, as Jacob said, the master plan has been completed for kind of phasing out this project over the next few years. This proposal in your packet tonight is for phase 1 and area 2. We did combine the south block of Thornton into this first proposal. Just doing that south block is going to benefit utility construction wise. But like Jacob said, the entire preliminary engineering phase of this project is going to take place with this first task order to kind of verify that that is required or not. The existing sewer and storm sewer elevations potentially could have us stop phase 1 at the intersection, kind of how we have it outlined here in the master plan. So we'll confirm that with our water quality calculations for stormwater outlets in the parking lot behind Billy Joe's there in the cultural district. And then, preliminary engineering for the rest of the phases, just to kind of hone in on the scope and the cost estimates for all of that, based on the original master plan. schematics and layout. And obviously we can, make some tweaks through there. It's gonna follow very similar to what the Dodge Street corridor looks like with the streetscape and the permeable pavers and decorative lighting, all that stuff that we discussed in the last few work sessions and council meetings and iterations of our master plan for this area.
With the, obviously with preliminary design, there'll be some, items to be, finalized that, kind of take a step beyond the master plan. So some of those will be just working with, the impacted property owners, in that parking lot, that own portions of that, and, kind of how we handle, that, and if we need to change things in terms of design, or, sign an agreement where, improvements are made, they retain rights, or if they want to do it for the city, but, those are discussions that we kind of need to take place with the preliminary design, so depending on their feedback, we can take it to the next step of design in terms of just, this is the concept, this is what we're thinking, now we kind of got to get to that more detailed level.
Yep, yeah, we've had multiple shareholder meetings for the public and the businesses along this project area. This scope will also include grant funding applications that we're pursuing for the water quality portion, the stormwater portion, and any other grant opportunities or low interest loan that we can acquire for this project to help cover some of those funding elements that, this is a nice size project, but with the streetscape items and the pavers and water quality stuff, it is, slightly more expensive than just your standard linear street reconstruction that we've done the last couple of years.
And I will just note the, kind of that area, phase 1 and area 2, it looks like, it's, 3 blocks of parking lot. Given the, the width of these streets, that phase 1, area 2, it's the equivalent of 7.5 blocks of your standard 31-foot wide curb to curb, 330-foot, long road. So it may, so we can kind of look at the cost based on all equivalent to 7.5 blocks. You may not have as much of a kind of a sticker shock. It's just like, it's a parking lot. I provided a handout of this, but this is based on the current cost estimates, which will be determined, obviously as and fine-tuned as we go through final preliminary and final design. And when we were looking at the master plan, we debated, well, how much do we kind of get into its value engineering and that? And we decided, let's kind of stick with the, this would be the nicest, most ideal option. And then as we get into preliminary and final design, how budget and numbers come in, then look at value engineering as part of that process, if we need to reduce costs. But for that entire area, areas 1 and 2 for phase 1, which includes generous 20% design permitting, and then 20% in contingency. The estimate is approximately $4.7 million. You can kind of see the potential funding sources there. About 20% of that would be paid for by the respective utilities. Right now we have 4% paid for by local option sales tax, which could certainly be more if council so directed. And then we're looking at $500,000 is what we feel confident in being able to obtain in a combination of either grants and or 0% loan through the state's water quality programs, and then we'd be looking at approximately $3 million to be paid for out of general obligation debt to be issued in 2025. But this is a little jumping ahead a little bit, because this is just to do the design work to come up with the more accurate version of these numbers.
Yep. Yeah, this is all the way through bidding, so kind of the project schedule is to construct this next year, get on the final design, be ready to bid in February, March at the latest, to get a contractor lined up, to start working in April to get the project done in one construction season in 2025.
Now, I forget, this parking lot, are we going with like permeable pavers or things to slow
Yep.
runoff, so?
Yep, so
The
in,
last one?
yes, in our master plan for that parking lot, we're going with, water quality bays with tree plantings and vegetation plantings, along with the permeable pavers, in kind of the parking zones. So the city likes to have the aisles as pavement, concrete pavement for snow removal, where they can, back drag across the, permeable pavers and drive their large equipment on the, solid concrete.
So like the parking lot done last year, behind the chamber there on, Call Street, where it was kind of the inverse of the Fred's parking lot, where that we had them drive lane the pavers, so this, the kind of darker gray, that's where the permeable pavers, would be, and the drive lanes would just be irregular concrete.
Motion to approve the task order number 4.
Second.
A motion from Rodney, second from Don. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney,
Yes.
Jessica, yes, Don,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I think I'm on the next one.
Oh, sure. Okay. Then you can't go anywhere.
I'll stay.
Okay. Agenda item number 16, this is a resolution in regards to the 2025 railroad crossing improvements.
Yes, concurrent with the Finn Drive crossing that was approved as a task order back in 2023, the other 3 crossings that CPKR are going to do in 2025, Main Street, Roan Street, and North Park Drive. This is going to be for design services for those 3 crossings for the approach work concurrent with the railroad fixing their crossings. Construction schedule is to be determined, 2025 sometime. They've already dropped off their materials for Finn Drive because they were thinking they were going to get that done last year and decided with all 4 crossings being on their list to get them all done in 2025. So with getting the other 3 agreements in place with the railroad and the DOT yet, we're basically just looking to get the topo work done right now while it's still nice out, and then sometime fall, winter, we will get the design work done for the approaches. A couple of them are changing grades slightly of the tracks. The railroad wants to raise those up by a few inches or lower those by a few inches in a couple locations. So we just have to basically redesign the street width of the street approaches there. And I think we're going to set Roan Street up for kind of the future street width that the city's going to want whenever they take off. So we'll do all the improvements right away to right away at the time that the railroad track is closed while the railroad is doing their crossing.
And the bidding on this one will be a little bit interesting. Some will come in on what the railroad will be responsible for replacing the tracks themselves, and that will be elected to go with concrete. And the city is responsible for performing the approaches to the replaced tracks and concrete crossings. And basically when the railroad says they're gonna come, we need to, the plan would be that we'd shut down that intersection for that crossing for 1 week. Our contractor and their contractor performing the work at the same time. Then we both send our bills into the DOT, and then the DOT would reimburse each entity of eligible costs, so that the final cost share would be 20% city, 20% railroad, 60% the state. So I know we've got a lot of comments, at least in my years here, on the condition of those tracks. And the reason we've kind of been in limbo is we submitted these grant applications back in 2020, but it's just been waiting for our turn in the funding queue, which we're finally up for, whereas if we had pursued the projects ourselves, we would have been responsible for 100%. So that 80% cost difference is why we've had to wait a little bit to get this lined up for construction.
So we work on Roan Street, we're gonna try and make that a little bit more gentle so it doesn't dip in?
Yeah, we're gonna adjust that grade. I think that one's getting raised up by 4 inches because the railroad wants a little bit better drainage through there. There's just culverts there right now that are in not great shape, so, they wanna improve that crossing, and then with the, street shot future location, just having this, a street width a little bit wider for the standard city width, through this corridor would be, we'd set it up now instead of having to rip out anything later, so. The way we have the crossing width is, I think the road's 26 feet wide, it'll be wide out to 31, and typically the railroad panels go out just a little bit farther than the edge of the road, so they're set up, on their end to bring materials to widen this crossing out. And we have applied for signal funding, still waiting, for word on kind of where we fall in line with this. We applied for, gate arms and signal crossings for all 4 locations. You know, Main Street, Finn Drive are probably pretty, serious contenders for some funding. Roan Street, with just the amount of traffic on it, is probably not, but we filled out the application anyway, just see where we sit, see how much money they have available at the state level, but.
Because that's 100% state.
Yeah. So, figured we'd submit them all and see what we get, if any, but we're on the list to, attempt to receive some funding there for signal improvements, because you don't have any gate arms on any of them right now.
And I will just note, we talked about width and things like that, we do also have in design that, for the North Park, Hall Street, crossing, that this, section of sidewalk, that's gonna be built as a, I think it was 8-foot wide trail.
Multi-use trail, yeah.
So it will, one, just be nice as kind of more robust crossing, but that way, again, too, the kind of the street width, if and when we're able, you know, to replace this sidewalk with trail, it's set up for that already, we don't have to deal with the railroad or incur costs at that time.
Yep. Do we want to talk about Thornton Street and all that configuration?
I think we wait till we get more.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yeah, information from them on what they're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
These nice improvements and been a long time coming.
Been a real help.
For sure.
Motion to approve resolution approving task order number 5.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Jessica. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank
Second.
you. Okay. Agenda item number 17, this approves a change order.
You want me to explain this one, Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay. This change order is actually a full-blown deduct. So we have, the way we bid our projects is we use estimated quantities. We measure those quantities in the field and pay the contractor for what they install. Typical of our street reconstruction projects, Bob Becker Construction was managing their own pay estimates for this project, just with our, I guess our agreement with kind of part-time inspection on this project. So these items are just items that we never use in full. And in order for Bob Becker to have their kind of software management for their pay applications to kind of balance out, it's just a straight up deduction of the items that we never used in full. So that's kind of the easy way to explain it. In the next agenda item is the pay estimate. This $23,238 deduct is listed as a line item on there, kind of balance the bottom line. So, any questions on that?
Always nice to have a deduct.
Yeah, we've had a couple change orders out there with parking lot improvements on the north end and the south end. But yeah, like Jacob said, the splash pad is open. There's still a few minor punch list items out there that they're working on finishing up here in the next couple weeks, but overall, the project is relatively finished and open for public use at least, so better late than never.
So our, so date we're considering substantial completion is August 12th. But per the contract, substantial completion was supposed to be July 1st, and then final completion with everything ready to go for final payout by August 1st, which obviously weren't met. So at some point as we get into, the next pay application on, the balance to finish on this project is a little over 69,000. Most of that is all retainage. It's our discussion is if we want to, pursue liquidated damages, or how we want to handle that. But that's something for, if we want to go that route for what that rate would be, it's still within the contract, but, we want to, certainly, have a conversation with the contractor, with the council, on kind of considerations that go into that, before making that decision.
Move to approve change order.
Second.
Motion from Brad, second from Don. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 18 approves the pay application that Matt spoke of earlier.
Yep, this is pay application number 9 for Bob Becker Construction for the work on the splash pad in the last month. Total amount $125,410. As Jacob said, a little over $69,000 remain in bid items, and retainage, there's $62,000 retainage. So, yeah, liquidated damage discussions can definitely be had. After approving this one, there's still more than enough to cover the liquidated damages that they could potentially be charged and assessed for this project. So, recommendation is to approve pass for number 9.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Jessica. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Agenda item number 19, this is approves another pay application.
This is pay application number 3 for the 2024 wastewater improvement project. This pay application is in the amount of $544,391.63. This is for work completed and material stored in July. Balance to finish, including retainage, is a little bit more than 27 million, so we still have a ways to go.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Jessica, to approve this pay application for the wastewater treatment facility improvements project. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 20 approves the street closure for last call before fall event on September 28th. And Amy from the chamber will be speaking to us here shortly.
All right, well, thank you for having me this evening. So we are once again planning our last call before fall. This is our 3rd year of having this event. It was previously called the Wine Walk. It used to happen on State Street. We decided to change it up and make it a more full family fun for all ages. Last year we got rained out and had to move it to the VFW, but we're crossing our fingers for good weather this year. So what we're asking the City Council is that you allow us to close the streets from Harlan to Thornton on State Street there. It'll be Saturday afternoon. We let the streets closed at 3 so the vendors can set up, and we'll open it back up shortly after 7 as soon as the vendors clean up. So with it being an event that doesn't take place until about 4, this shouldn't affect the retail businesses too much. Most of them are closed at that time. But we are extending an invitation to everybody, not just chamber members, to set up a booth, some kind of game, activity, food booths, especially to the local organizations. This is a great fundraiser opportunity to set up some kind of bake sale or, raffle, whatever they want to do to fundraise. So But yeah, it was a great event. The first year that we did it with it being on State Street, we had beautiful weather that day as well. We had 300 kids plus their parents, so we estimated 500 to 600 people were downtown during that evening. Last year a little bit less with the rain, of course, but we still had pretty good attendance, and a lot of people love this event. Again, it's just a family fun festival that we love to do for the community. Any questions about the event, or?
Oh, we just get good weather this year.
Yes, let's do. We got very fortunate with Party in the Park, so if we can get that same weather, that would be wonderful.
And Bo, Chief Bo Miller's with us, and any concerns there or anything like that, or, okay. And
The side streets would be shut down too?
Just the
To the
intersection.
alley.
Yeah,
Just the intersection?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, should be nothing.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Don, second from Jessica to approve the street closures for the last call before fall event on September 28th. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brendan.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 21 is to approve a street closure also for the Algona Cruising event on September 15th.
We did not receive any specific details in terms of the times or which streets to be closed. I thought someone would be here this evening, so we want to, I guess, table the item until those can be solidified. If you know, they're already promoting the event. In the past, we've approved it and it's on a Sunday, and so it usually goes pretty well. But it would be for the Algona Cruising event on Sunday, September 15th, which is in downtown Algona from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. I don't know if you recall where they closed in the past.
I think we've closed it around the noon in the past.
And what block? Remember?
Pretty much it's the same as what we did for Founder's Day.
Okay.
They get a lot of cars there, don't they?
Yeah, this is had a really big event.
Yeah, more than
just
that.
the main.
I think we do the alleys.
To the alleys, yeah.
I think we did the alleys on both sides all the way down, from Harlan all the way.
I mean, we can confirm that with him, and Scott runs a good event, but we got one more meeting at least. so we
Yeah,
can
I-
confirm it.
That's normally what we've done right there.
So if we want to approve it and, give directions to the police chief to coordinate the final closures. That's one option, if I want to table it.
Yeah, I would think we'd do that, and then they have another meeting where we could alter it if it needs to be, but it's probably going to be.
Scott's run a good event, and that worked well, then I don't see any issue.
I have to talk to him tomorrow anyway, so I can confirm it tomorrow if there's an issue.
I'll move to approve as was done in the past.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Don to approve the street closure on September 15th. Any other discussion?
Now we need to close more streets.
That's right. That's right. Good. Vote please, Deb.
Brett.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank
And
you.
Mayor, may I add that that morning of Sunday, September 15, everyone can go to the Rotary Flight Breakfast out at the municipal airport, okay?
Yeah.
So- Just so that's on the TV too, that the Rotary Flight Breakfast is taking place that Sunday out at the airport. And it's a free will offering, so there's no tickets you have to buy, just go on out there and have some breakfast.
Do you pay after you eat, depending on how good it was, or?
No, it's a free will offering. Come on.
I was gonna say also that she can cut and paste all this video that she's doing. So thank you, Paul. That's good. that
You're welcome.
you mentioned. That is always good out there. Okay, agenda item number 22 is final notification of Bill Stroman as an airport commissioner. His term expires August 23rd of this year. And I know he's a valuable member and a longtime member of the Airport Commission, and he has agreed to serve again for a 6-year term. So I recommend Bill Stroman's reappointment to the Airport Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Jessica. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Don.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried, thank you. And thanks again, Bill. And agenda item number 23, which is our final agenda item. This is the first notification of Harlan Richter's term expiring on November 30th of 2024 on the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment. And that board consists of 5 members, and those are 5-year terms. So with that, it is 6:04, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn the city council meeting today.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Don, second from Jessica. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.